Hey guys, Mustang here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are back with the next episode of the Ask the King series where I get you guys to give me your Super Battle Road related questions. I put out a tweet, a post on the community tab, and there is a channel in the Discord. I try and prioritize the ones in the Discord first, so obviously if you want the best shot of your question being in a future episode, make sure you join the Discord. The link is down below in the description. So let us go ahead and jump into the questions for today's episode, episode 3. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 1. So this comes to us from, I want to read this as Teggy Weggy. I don't know if that's right. I apologize. Would you suggest bringing the type supports as leads for the extra 1 key and orb changing, or the Easy A 120 leads for the extra 10% in stats and overall just being better units? I've personally been trying to decide between Int Easy A Gogeta or the Int Gohan for Super Int ESBR. So I do think that the 50% supports are really good to bring on the mono-typing teams. But I do think it is better to use the higher leader skill, because Extreme Super Battle Road is obviously a lot harder than the original stages. I think literally the only time you should use the 50% supports as the leaders is if you were going to use a 120 leader anyway. So like Extreme Tech is a good example. A lot of people don't want to use Super Saiyan 3 Broly because he's very bad defensively. So you can use units like, say, Golden Frieza, who's a unit you want to be bringing on that team anyway. And he is a 120 lead with free key. And then if you have the second form Cell, the 50% support for Extreme Tech, you probably want to bring him on the team. And so just by the fact that his leader skill is better than Golden Frieza, because it's the same but with 1 extra key, you should bring him as the leader. But overall, I do think it is better to bring units with the higher leader skill, unless, like I say, with the example of Broly, unless the unit themselves are not very good. And to be honest, because Broly got the shaft, I think he's probably the only one that is worse to bring as the leader than the 50% support. So if you have them, bring them on the team, but I think it's better to use the higher leader skill overall, because every unit on your team having more defense, more attack, and then you having overall more HP is going to make it easier for you to complete the stage. Okay, so question number 2 from the Discord. Shout out to Kenny McGee. Says, which stage are you going to test the new Int Broly on first? I kind of included this one as a little bit of a meme, because the answer to this question is basically keep an eye out on the channel in the next couple of hours and you will find out. So there you go. Okay, so question number 3, again coming to us from the Discord. This is from Edgy Connor. It says, do you think Ginyu Force ESBR will be possible without fully linked level 10 Ginyu Force or a new Ginyu Dokkan Fest? So that's an interesting one, because originally with the category stages, Peppy Gals was the easiest one. And then, of course, when the Extreme Super Battle Road version of it came out, it was harder, like all other Extreme Super Battle Road stages. But I remember people saying on JP when it first came out that it still wasn't that hard. And so, obviously, you know, I had to level 10 link the Ginyu Force to do the no items run, but that was for, you know, doing a no items run. The stage was easily completable before that. You know, I did a video not using the physical Ginyu. I think that was a question actually that came up in episode 1. So, Extreme Super Battle Road, it's obviously going to be a lot harder. One of the things they often do is change the enemy typings, so that could affect the stage and how it plays out. But honestly, I do think if they bring out the extreme version of the Ginyu Force stage, because not everybody tries to no items it, and, you know, not everybody, well, I say not everybody, barely anyone is probably link leveling the Ginyu Force. I imagine if they ever drop the ESBR stage for it, they will either release a new Ginyu as like a Dokkan Fest, or they will give the free-to-play Ginyu Force Easy A's. I don't know if they would necessarily be 100% necessary for everybody. Like if you, like you say in the question, if you have them at level 10 links, the stage would potentially be doable with, you know, the use of all 8 items. And I guess by the time it comes out, there'll probably be like support memories as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's the ESBR version would definitely be quite difficult, especially when it comes to the no items run. So I do think if they are going to drop the stage, they do need to do something to improve that team overall. So I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Okay, so the next question comes to us from Brandon. This is from the community tab on YouTube, so shout out to you. What are the biggest and most common misplays that someone can make in Super Battle Road? So I think the biggest one is going to be your item management. Using items is super important when you use them. We had a question in a previous episode of which items were the best to bring, so I do recommend, if you haven't seen that particular episode, I believe it was the previous one, episode 2, you should check that out. But yeah, the biggest misplay is using your items at the right time, and that's why you need to make sure you bring the right items. Like, I saw a lot of people, even other creators, like friends of mine, when I would pop in and hang out in their streams and stuff, a lot of people have this mentality of you shouldn't use an item on turn 1, because if you have a bad turn 1 and like just die or take loads of damage, you can just restart or whatever. For me, I've always gone into the first turn and used a damage reduction item, unless you have, you know, like a golden freezer level tank taking pretty much all the hits. Because at the end of the day, I've talked about this when I do my normal runs for videos that are not no item runs. At the end of the day, if you're not doing a no item run, it doesn't matter how many items you use. So don't be afraid to use items. I think that's a misplay that people can make quite a lot. Like, if you're in the final fight and you have like 4 items left and you're a little bit unsure, just use one, because you've still got 4 items left and you're in the final stage. No one's really going to care. I seriously doubt anyone like you're friends with, or people, you know, who follow you on Twitter or whatever, no one's going to care that you used like 6 items instead of 5 at the end of the day. So I think it's very important to make sure that you use your items correctly. And then, of course, one of the ones that's kind of like a meme is obviously misclicking your orbs because you're pressing too quickly. But of course, unless it's the 3rd unit in the rotation, you can always just reset the app to fix that. So outside of team building, making sure you're bringing the right units for the job, the biggest misplay is definitely with how you use your items. Like, you don't want to be, say ESBR for example, everyone finds Extreme Tech and Super AGL the hardest. You don't want to get to the end of the 3rd fight out of the 4 and you've used all of your items, because then you are literally just winging it, hoping that you can get through the final fight. So item management, I think, is one of the most important things next to like your team building. Okay, so the next question is from Nigel. It says, what are some units you always take in stages when available? So there's quite a few good ones that spring to mind. I decided to pick just a couple. So if we flick over to the wiki view here. Okay, so probably no surprise to anyone to see that the Str Ui Goku is on here. He's insanely good for Super Battle Road. Even before the same name update, when the Int UI got his Easy A and people were debating about which one was better to use, this guy is better in Super Battle Road because turn 1, you have that 70% chance to dodge. You can put him in slot 1, potentially dodge every single attack, and then build up a ton of extra damage, get that 18 key super off in the first turn. And he's just ridiculously good in SBR. It's one of the modes that makes him look the best, I think. So then we have this Gohan. This guy was super useful because when the new 10 category stages came to global at the end of the last year, I think you could use him on a couple of teams. He's one of the best super type support units in the game. Gives 2 key and 30% attack and defense, and then he has his own 58% defense, which doesn't seem like a lot, but he obviously gets the 30 from his own buff, and then he has 58% damage reduction. And then you add that on top of the fact that he has a 30% chance to stun. He's extremely good for Super Battle Road, so any stage you can bring him on. I usually put him on the team. And then he doesn't fit on as many teams, but same is true for Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, because his passive only lasts for 10 turns, but during those 10 turns, he's probably like the best defensive unit in the game. Any Super Battle Road stage where you can fit him on the team, he will be worth bringing. So it's nice that he's on crossover. I guess eventually we'll probably get a Worthy Rivals stage as well. But yeah, any team that you can use him on, I think he's worth bringing. And then for the extreme types, I guess this is almost like a flip, because he's, you know, kind of like the extreme version of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta when it comes to your team building. Golden Freezer. The AGL one is technically slightly better at tanking, but the AGL one doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as the Tech one. The Easy A made it so that the AGL one could stack up attack over time, but Super Battle Road is probably too short of an event for you to be worrying about units that have to stack up attack in order to be dealing damage, whereas Tech Golden Frieza is able to deal reasonable damage straight away. And then the last one I highlighted here was this Gotenks. I thought I would highlight him specifically for global players, even though we got shafted for Saiyan Day and we're still waiting. When the 10 category Extreme Super Battle Road stages come out, this guy is going to be super, super good on every single team that you can run him on, because once you transform into Super Saiyan Gotenks on turn 3, he has a 70% chance to stun with his super attack. And then of course, if these parts of his passive go off, if the whole thing goes off, his defense is actually really, really good. And then because he has a built-in chance to launch an additional, there's 2 chances to get the 70% chance to stun. So I do think he's going to be super, super good for when those stages drop. So those are a few of the characters that I like to bring whenever I can. There's probably more, but you know, it would take ages to go through them all. So I'd be interested to know what ones you guys think that you always bring whenever you can. That'd be interesting to find out down below. And then last but not least, we have a question from our boy AC Gaming over in the Discord. If you could pick the next 10 normal SBR stages, what would they be? So there was a couple of questions about the 10 stages. Like this one is kind of worded in more of a, if I could pick them. Some other people had asked what I think they're going to be. And then someone asked what the next ones for global will be, which should be the 10 category Extreme Super Battle Road stages. But at this rate, who knows what's going on with those. So if we, let's flick over to the wiki again here. All right, so we are on the list of categories in the game. And they are in chronological order from when they were released. Super Battle Road stages haven't quite been released in that sort of order, but it's pretty much close enough. So World Tournament, I wouldn't necessarily pick that as being a stage, but that would be kind of funny. That category is super bad. That would be like the Peppy Gals or Ginyu Force stage of that particular set, where I imagine the difficulty would be lowered quite significantly. Low Class Warrior could be a good one. Obviously, Bardock's been back a whole bunch of times now. That team has some good units for Super Battle Road, like the Int, Easy A free-to-play Raditz that has the AoE attack. Obviously, AGL Turles is on there. There's some solid units. A lot of the Ginyu Force, the Team Bardock free-to-play units are fairly decent, like Farsha. She has the built-in dodge ability. So I think Low Class Warriors would be a cool one. Planet Namek Saga, I feel like that could be one of the next ones. That category's been around for ages. Namekians with the same name update is definitely going to be one that I think could be interesting, because obviously these stages will come to JP first. So with the same name update, it makes it a little bit easier to actually make this team. So that would be cool. And then let's see, what have we got next? We've got all these. Dragon Ball Seekers would kind of be a weird one. Universe 6 we've had now. Joined Forces. Joined Forces is a category actually that keeps it keeps getting more and more interesting with the amount of LRs that get released that are multiple characters. So I think that could be really cool. And then we've had the family ones. Artificial life forms, I feel like we need more versatile leader base for that. One that I would be super looking forward to would be Terrifying Conquerors, because, you know, I love my extreme units. Same with Dragon Ball Heroes or Crossover, but Heroes is more likely to be one of the newer ones. Target Goku would be interesting, because there's a lot of good older units on there, like 13, Super 17. The new Broly is on there, so that would be cool. Super Saiyan 2 stage, because I really love the Super Saiyan 2 team. I think that would be good. But you see here in like the chronological order, we've only just got to Final Trump Card and they have their own stage already. So they're clearly not releasing them in any like specific order. I could also see the Team Bardock one being like the new set version of like the Ginyu Force, because you basically have to use the full free-to-play team with the odd summonable unit you can throw in there. Inhuman Deeds and Earthlings would both be super interesting, considering their main leaders are both AoE units, so that could be cool. And then Margin Power, I'm really looking forward to that one, because like the full level 10 links like Margin team is absolutely ridiculous. So as you can see, there's still a whole ton of categories to come. The Space Traveling Warriors one will be fun, but again, that's going to be a long way away. So you can kind of get a rough idea by looking at this list what ones could be the next 10. To be honest, I just want more Super Battle Road. So I'm interested. You guys let me know down below which out of the categories that have not got a stage yet is the one that you are the most excited to play. I think that would be quite interesting to find that out as well. Okay, well, that's all the questions that we have time for on today's episode. Thank you, everybody who submitted your questions. If you submitted a question and it didn't get answered, feel free to submit it again on next week's post. I try and look back at some of the older questions, but obviously we get a ton of new ones coming in as well. So make sure you submit those. Like I said, the Discord is the best option, or you can reply to the tweet, or you can reply to the community tab post. Do bear in mind that for now, this series is only about Super Battle Road. There seems to always be some non-Super Battle Road questions, so I'll try and answer them directly in the comments, but the video is for Super Battle Road questions only. So hopefully, if you got your question on, you appreciated the answer. Let me know what you guys thought down below on a couple of those questions where I asked your opinion, and stay tuned for the next episode next week. So that is going to be it, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.